Special thanks to Patreon supporter Derek Frost Westbrook for making this video possible. Hello ladies and gentlemen, ZPro here bringing you another Minecraft BAFTA build Cold War tutorial. In this tutorial we'll be going ahead and building the Admiral Vinogradov Udaloy-class destroyer. The Udaloy-class, Russian designation Project 155 Fagat and Project 11551 Fagat M, are a series of anti-submarine guided missile destroyers built for the Soviet Navy, 7 of which are currently in service with the Russian Navy. 12 ships were built between 1980 and 1991, while the 13th ship, built to a modified design known as the Udaloy II class, followed in 1999. They complemented the Sovremeny class destroyers in anti-aircraft and anti-surface warfare operations. The codename Udaloy comes from the archaic Russian adjective "yano," meaning daring or bold. Project 1155 dates to the 1970s when it was concluded that it was too costly to build large displacement multi-role combatants. The concept of a specialized surface ship was developed by the Soviet designers. 2 different types of warships were laid down, which were designed by the Sevalne Design Bureau. Project 956 destroyer and Project 1155 large anti-submarine ship. The Udaloy class are generally considered the Soviet equivalent of the American Spruance class destroyers. There are variants in SAM and air search radar among units of the class. Based on the Karavik class, the emphasis on anti-submarine warfare left these ships with limited anti-surface and anti-air capabilities. In 2015, the Russian Navy initially announced that 5 out of the 8 Project 1155 ships would be refurbished and upgraded as part of the Navy modernization program by 2022. In 2020, it was suggested that a total of 8 Project 1155/1155.1 vessels would be upgraded to the same standard, though through work on the remaining 3 units would extend beyond 2022. In addition to overhauling their radio electronic warfare and life support systems, they will receive modern missile complexes to fire P-80 Onyx and Caliber cruise missiles. The ships are to have their service life extended by 30 years until sufficient numbers of Admiral Groskov class frigates are commissioned. Upgrades will include replacing the Rastberg B missiles with the 3S-24 angling launchers fitted with 4 containers using the 3M24 anti-ship missile and 2 3S-14-1155 Universal VLS with 16 cells for caliber land attack, anti-ship, and anti-submarine cruise missiles in place of the AK-100 guns. So yeah, the Udaloy class destroyer, very cool class of ships and an ever-expanding ship on our kind of modern Russian fleet. This is done up in the anti-submarine warfare, so this is not modernized into basically what would be the newer versions that are supposed to be kind of the more modern ones. So this is kind of based off of its Cold War type of design and designation, really, as a anti-submarine warfare type of ship. Before we go ahead and move into the tutorial, I do want to go ahead and give special thanks to Patreon supporter Derek Frost Westbrook for making this tutorial possible. As always, if you are interested in supporting the channel more you already do, you can feel free to check out my Patreon page. Link is always in my video descriptions, where you can go and pledge a small amount to the channel every month, and in doing so, earn a vehicle request to your choosing. It really helps support the work I do on my channel and is really greatly appreciated, so definitely feel free to check that out. Again, links are always in my video descriptions. With that though, let's go ahead and dive in here to take a look at the Udaloy class guided missile destroyer, or frigate, or whatever you really want to call it. Anyways, going ahead and getting started, we have the front bow of the ship here. Nothing too fancy. This is equipped with 2 forward kind of guns mounted on the front here. We have the conning tower, all the different radar equipment and all that stuff. We do have some missile launchers that are located right in this area here. So this is capable of having some, anti-surface missiles like that. And then continuing our way back, we have the funnels here for the ship. Again, more mass and all that stuff, very iconic for Russian ships. And basically the towers leading up to them. We then have some more kind of more point defense type guns mounted in this section, lifeboats kind of around the area, as well as a crane. And as we continue to work our way back, we have again more of our basically detection equipment, all that stuff. And this right back here is where the helicopter hangar would be for transporting helicopters, obviously for anti-submarine duties. and we pretty much have the back of the ship here. So overall, that's pretty much the ship. A really nice looking ship, and going to make an awesome addition for your kind of Cold War modern Russian navies, as we've kind of built up a pretty good size of ships just in the recent kind of few months or half a year, I would say, ranging from some guided missile cruisers with the Slava class and support ships and even some carrier ships. So definitely some cool ships added to our Russian Navy. And with that, let's go ahead and move into our tutorial by beginning with our first layer, layer number 1. Alright guys, so moving into our first layers here, we go ahead and start with layers 1 and 2. Now we're starting with layers 1 and 2 because basically layer 1 is pretty simple and really just kind of an add-on onto layer number 2. So it's a little bit easier to go ahead and just start directly with these 2 layers to build it all together. And layer 1 is just so small, I don't even think it warrants having a separate section for it, so we're just going to combine the 2 layers together. If you're completely new to my BAFTA build tutorials, the way I like to structure these tutorials is I like to do half on camera, half off. What this means is we'll be building the entire center line for the whole of the ship, and then we're going to be building the right side, and it'll be up to you guys to take the right side, copy it over to the left side. We're going to do this for about the first 3 layers or so until we start to get into some of the detail, which kind of comes with the superstructure. Since the detail is a little bit more complex, we will switch to doing basically both sides all together to help make it a little bit more clear on the detail and a lot of stuff that is present on the ship. But other than that, we are pretty much good to go ahead and get started here. Now, one thing I do want to mention right off the bat is if you do want to build this in the water, you will need to build this a certain height, obviously. This line, the second layer, so you have layer 1 here with this top slabs. Then you have this layer number 2 here. This right here is going to basically be even with the water level. You can see here, that's basically the level you want this to sit at. And very important that that is correct, because obviously if it's not sitting perfect how it should be in the water, it's going to sit too high or too low and look completely out of place. So just make sure you take that into account, and we can go ahead and get started here. Now the first thing we want to do is we're going to place down a polished andesite slab, like so. We're going to go ahead and take our red concrete, and we're going to place down our red row of red concrete. That's going to go back a total of 27 blocks. So that's going to go down the center, like so. We're going to go then place down 2 brick top slabs on the end here. We're going to skip a space, place down a brick wall, and then a acacia wood trapdoor coming off that brick wall, like so. With that done, going back up to the front here, we're going to go underneath this polished andesite top slab, or sorry, half slab. We're going to place down a polished andesite top slab on the bottom there, and then 1, 2, 3, and 4 brick top slabs going back like so. And that right there will basically make your center line there for the ship for layers 1 and 2. Moving out to the sides now, we're going to place down 1, 2, 3 red stained glass panes coming off those blocks there. Then 2 brick walls. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21, and 22 red concrete blocks back. We're going to go then place down an acacia wood fence post, or sorry, fence gate. A end rod coming off that fence gate, and then a birchwood slab like so. Coming off the sides of the brick wall and this acacia wood trapdoor, we're going to place down 2 more acacia wood trapdoors like so. Next row, we're going to go ahead and go to our second red concrete block here. We're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then a brick stair like so. Coming off the brick stair, we're going to place down an acacia wood trapdoor, and also on the bottom of this acacia wood trapdoor, we're going to place down 1 going down like so as well. We then want to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 red stained glass panes back, and then grabbing ourselves some acacia wood trapdoors, we're just going to place down 2 acacia wood trapdoors and close them on the side there of those red concrete blocks. With that all done, you'll take the same thing we did on the right side here, copy over to the left side, and this way you should have for the top-down view with layers 1 and 2 complete. Anyway, so that right there is going to complete those layers. Let's go ahead and move on to layer number 3. Moving into our next layer, we have layer 3. For layer 3, we're going to start off by placing down a stone upside-down stair on top of this red concrete block here in the front. We're going to then go back from that stone block, a total of 30 of our stone blocks back, and then an andesite wall on top of this last acacia wood trapdoor here in the back. After that, going back up to the front, we're going to go ahead and work our way out to the sides by placing down 2 light gray stainless panes coming off those 2 stone full blocks and an andesite wall. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, and 28 stone blocks back. Going ahead and double checking the count here. Again, it's going to be 28 stone blocks back from that wall up there in the front. After that, we're going to go then take our light gray stainless panes. We're going to go ahead and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, and 27 light gray stainless panes going forward. And double checking our count here, it is going to be 27. So one less from the block there in the front. After that, you're going to take the same thing we did on the right side, flip it over to the left side, and that right there is what you should have for layer 3 with that layer all complete. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and move on to our next layer, layer number 4. Alright guys, so going ahead and move it into our next layer, we have layer number 4. Layer 4 here is going to be a bit of a hybrid layer. We're going to go ahead and do basically about 2/3 of the ship, half on, half off, and then the back section where we start to get into some of that extra detail, we will be going ahead and doing it all together. So for our first kind of 2/3 here for the front of the ship, we're going to start off by going ahead and placing down a stone block on top of the stone upside down stair here in the front, then a stone upside down stair coming off that stone block, and then an iron trapdoor coming off that stair like that toward the front there. With that out of the way, we want to go ahead and then go back from this stone block. We're going to place down 1 and 2 more blocks, so you have a total of 3 stone full blocks. We're going to go then place down a row of acacia wood planks that's going to go down the center line, a total of 18 blocks. Going to the sides, we're going to place down 2 light gray stainless panes coming off these first 2 stone blocks, then 1 and 2 andesite walls, and then after that, we're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17 stone blocks. We're going to then go to this stone block here. We're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16 light gray stainless panes back like that for the structure. And also on the front here, we're going to go ahead and place down a skeleton skull on both sides of this stone stair like so. At this point, basically looking at it from above, this is what you should have for this front section. You're going to go ahead and take the same thing, apply it to both sides, and basically have this all set up and good to go before we go ahead and start moving on those back details. In addition, on the side here, you can go ahead and also put the ship number. So for us, we're doing a specific ship, Admiral Vinogradov. So this ship will have a specific number, which is 572, which is what the number that the ship currently has. So this very simply will be placed on the 3rd glass pane. You have the 5, 7, and 2 white lettering with gray backgrounds. I'm not going to go do the numbers for the banners on camera or whatever. I'm going to leave that up to you guys to find tutorials online for how to do the banners, because they're pretty easily covered in those, and there's no point in me really diving deep into those doing the tutorial for them. So that's right there what you need. And over here on this side, it's going to be on the 3rd glass pane from the front, 275. So it reads 572 and 572 on both sides there for the whole number. With that though, we're going to go ahead and now move into the back details. Alright guys, so moving to the back details here of the ship, we're going to go ahead and work on this last third of the ship. Just make sure that at this point you should have this whole front section done on both sides. It should look exactly how you can see it right here. Anyways, go ahead and continue on. We're going to place down a acacia wood plank here, then an andesite wall to both sides, and then to the side of the andesite wall, we're going to place down a light gray bed, like so, on top of those glass panes. We're going to place down an air stone block here in the center, and then a second stone block from that, followed by an andesite wall to both sides. We then want to place down a row of 3 of stone blocks across, a second row of 3, a third row, and a fourth row across. We're going to go and then place down a row of 1, 2, and 3 acacia wood planks down the center, and then a polished andesite block here in the end. Coming off the end there of that polished andesite block, we're going to place down a stone button. To the sides, we're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4 andesite walls, and same thing over here, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll go ahead and then grab ourselves some dark oak wood fence gates, and on the last 3 walls, we're going to place down 1, 2, 3 fence gates and open them toward the walls like so. And same thing will be done over here as well, like that. After that's all complete there, that is going to basically wrap up everything we have there for the back. And this is what it should look like for the top-down view. With that, that is going to conclude layer number 4, and with that, let's go ahead and move on to layer number 5. Alright guys, moving into our next layer, we have layer number 5. For layer 5, we're going to start off with placing down a dark oak wood fence gate on top of this iron trapdoor and open that up toward the front of the ship. We then want to go ahead and place down a dark oak wood sign on both sides, or sorry, these 3 sides of the fence gate, like so. And on top of that, we're going to go ahead and place down an end rod. However, we're going to place down 2 blocks up, delete that first block, and then the end rod coming off the bottom of the block, like so. Delete the block, and you should have the base there of the end rod sticking upwards, and that's how you want that. After that, we're going to go ahead and place down 2 stone slabs back, so 1, 2. We're going to go ahead and grab ourselves a daylight detector. We're going to place down a daylight detector, like this, and we're going to go and then turn this to night mode. And if we're on Java, we'll place down a piston right here. If you're on a different version of Minecraft, I would probably place down a stone brick slab. But if you're on Java, we'll place down our piston. And then to the sides here of this stone slab, we're going to place down a skeleton skull That'll be at a slight angle like that on both sides, like so, of the ship. We're going to go ahead and grab our acacia wood pressure plates and trapdoors. We're going to place down 1, 2, 3, and 4 pressure plates on the side here, and 1, 2, 3, and 4. In the center here, we're going to place down a acacia wood trapdoor, like so. At this point right here, if you're on Java, we'll go ahead and do the /give @p space Minecraft :debug stick. And this right here should be your command. So it's going to be /give space @p space Minecraft :debug _stick. This right here will give you this glowing stick, and by going up to the piston and right clicking it, it will set it to extended to true, and it will get rid of that top portion and kind of fill in the space a little bit better. Again, that'll be a Java only feature. If you're on a different version, I would recommend placing down a stone brick slab instead. At this point, we're going to go ahead and then place down a polished andesite stair on top of this block here, and then a end rod coming off of that. All right. After that, we do want to go ahead and grab ourselves some item frames. And again, this will be a feature for Java. We're going to go ahead and place down an item frame here on both sides of this andesite stair. And we're going to go ahead and place down light gray beds, and those item frames are rotated so the pillow is facing toward the front. If you are on Bedrock or Pocket Edition, you will not be able to place down a item frame and a pressure plate in the same block space. If that's the case, you'll just have to go without the item frames. And there's nothing, unfortunately, you can really do differently there. After that, we're going to go ahead and place down a stone block here. And then we're going to place down a andesite wall to both sides of that stone block, like that. We then want to go ahead and place down a acacia wood plank there in the center, and then another stone block to both sides, like so. After this section here, we're going to do the same thing back. So another acacia wood plank here, and another stone block to both sides. We're going to go ahead and place down a polished andesite block in the center, a stone block, and then a row 3 of stone full blocks across. We're going to place down a stone brick top side to both sides here, and then a dark oak wood fence gate on both sides of that polished andesite block. At this point, we're going to take our light gray stained glass panes. We're going to place down 2 glass panes on the side there of these 2 stone blocks, as well as a glass pane that will be on the side of this stone brick top slab on both sides here. And then going back from that, we're going to place down a andesite wall to both sides. We then want to go ahead and go back from the stone, or the row 3 of stone, from their row 3 of stone, and then another andesite wall to the sides here, like so. At this point right here, however, we are going to go ahead and change the properties here of our glass pane. So what we're going to do here is, having a debug stick, we can go ahead and use a technique here by going ahead and left-clicking our wall. We're going to go ahead and go to our selected direction. Now, that's might take some messing around with to figure out your direction, especially if your ship is oriented different from mine. But you'll just have to kind of mess around with this and find your direction that your wall faces. So our wall, you can see, was connected up to our glass panes. For me, my direction was south. So I'm going to set this to south to none. And we're going to do the same thing over here for this wall. And basically at this point, we're going to then take this glass pane, and we want to go ahead and extend it north to false. However, we will take this and we will extend it to the south, so the same direction that our wall was facing, except this is going to go forward. So we get a design that looks like that there on the sides. And on Java, that's a nice technique there to make that look a little bit more accurate to the actual ship. Now, an alternative for you all, if you, again, are on a different version, is very simply, instead of the glass pane there, you can place down a birchwood fence post. Again, it's not perfect, but it is an optional thing you could do. A difference to not have those walls connect up to the glass pane. Anyways, though, after that's all complete, we're going to get to U1 by placing down a row of stone full blocks across. We're going to then place down another row of 3 across, and then another row. At this point, we're going to then place down a white bed on top of these glass panes here to both sides. After that's all done, we want to go and then take our stone blocks, place down another row of 3 of stone full blocks across, followed by another row, and then a third one, and then a fourth one, like that back. Now, basically in total here, just to give you a count, we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 rows of 3 going back. On these last rows after the bed there, we're going to place down 1, 2, 3, 4 light gray stained glass panes, and 1, 2, 3, 4 also on this side here. Once we have that done, we're going to then place down a stone block here, and then an andesite wall to both sides like that. We're going to then place down a acacia wood pressure plate on these 2 walls here. And in the center space on that stone block, we're going to place down a anvil like so. Coming off the sides of the anvil, we're going to place down an item frame like so. And then in those item frames, we're going to place down gray beds facing upwards like so. We then want to place down the andesite wall here back after the anvil. And and then another andesite wall to the side of it. And then a skeleton skull came off the side there of those andesite walls. We're going to go ahead and then take our stone blocks, place down a row 3 across, followed by a second row, and then a third row, like that. We're going to take iron trapdoors, and we're going to place down a row of 3 of iron trapdoors that will be coming off these 3 stone blocks to both sides. We'll place down item frames on those iron trapdoors, and then we're going to place down white beds in those item frames, rotated sideways. And the same thing will be done over here, just like this. After that's all done, go ahead and continuing on, we're going to go ahead and then place down a stone brick wall to both sides here on the back, and then an andesite wall there in the center. We also want to go ahead and place down a skeleton skull coming off both sides of those stone brick walls, or to either side. We're going to then take our acacia wood pressure plates as well as some white carpet. We're going to place down 1, 2, 3 acacia wood pressure plates. Then acacia wood pressure plate on both sides, white carpet in the center. White carpet to both sides, acacia wood pressure plate in the center. And then a white carpet in the center and an acacia wood pressure plate to both sides like so. We also want to go ahead and take our acacia wood trapdoors and just place down a row of 3 on top of those dark oak wood fence gates. And after that is all complete there, that right there is going to basically sum up what we have there for the back of the ship, and that will pretty much complete everything we have there for layer number 4, or actually layer number 5 for the build. So with that, that layer 5 is complete, and with that we'll move on to our next layer, layer number 6. Alright guys, moving into our next layer, we have layer number 6. For layer 6 to get started with here, we're going to go ahead and place down a polished andesite stair on top of this acacia wood plank right here, then an end rod coming off of it. We're going to go ahead and then place down a acacia wood pressure plate to both sides of the stair, and again if you're on Java, we'll place down an item frame and then a light gray bed in the item frame rotated so the pillow is facing forward on both sides there of the stair, so just like that. After that, again, if we're on Java, we'll place down an item frame here on this stone block as well, and we're going to go ahead and place down an orange stained glass paint in it, like that, to help keep some of that duck orange color. After that, however, we're going to go ahead and then place down the item frames underneath here as well, so we'll place down an item frame underneath these blocks here as well, and then orange stained glass paints in those item frames, like so. We then want to place down a polished andesite block here in the center again, and then to both sides here a stone brick slab. Coming off that stone brick slab, we're going to place down a skeleton skull facing toward the front there like that. Continuing on, we're going to go then place down a stone block in this space right here. And on top of this glass pane, we're going to place down another glass pane that goes up. And on this side over here, basically if you did the fence post, you'll place another birchwood fence post up like that. We're going to go ahead and then take our stone blocks, we're going to place down a row of 3 across this section here, and we're going to go ahead and then place down an andesite wall to both sides here. Just one thing to note is that I think the wall will change the properties here, unfortunately. So we will have to basically redo our technique here with our debug stick, but it's going to be following the same steps just like that to go ahead and space them out like so. So just go ahead and make those necessary adjustments. And one thing I do want to double check also is the next layer, it might change it up as well. So just for the time being, so we don't have to worry about it later, we're going to place down another andesite wall back like this, and then a iron trapdoor on top of those like that. And now we'll go ahead and set our glass panes up properly. So just as kind of unfortunate, sometimes the blocks do change properties, and basically we'll have something that looks like this here. We're going to go ahead and place down our andesite wall back and our iron trapdoor on top of that for the time being. And over here we'll just do the same thing. We'll place down our 3 andesite walls back and our iron trapdoors there on top for the time being. We're going to go ahead and place down a row 3 of stone blocks in between those andesite walls. After that, we're going to go ahead and place down another row of 3 of stone blocks across. This time, however, we're going to place down a item frame on both sides, and then a iron bar in the item frames like that. Once we have that done, we're going to then take our acacia wood pressure plates and just place down a row 3 here. Now if you're on Java, we'll go ahead and place down some stone blocks that go up diagonally from these white beds. So basically like that to both sides. We're going to go ahead and place down levers on the side of those blocks. And we're going to go then place down debug sticks. And we're going to go ahead and basically left click the debug stick so it gets selected face wall. And by shifting, or basically crouching, and right clicking, we will cause these levers to basically connect up to the floor there, which will be on top of that bed. We can then delete those blocks, and we have those levers there, which are the supports there for where the little winches that lower the lifeboats on the side here of the ship. You can use fence gates instead. Trying to come up with some kind of design for that, but this right here, obviously, again, going to be the best option. After this, though, we're going to go ahead and then place down a row of 1, 2, 3 skeleton skulls, and then a acacia wood pressure plate to both sides. We're going to go then place down a dark oak wood fence gate here in the center, a dark oak wood fence gate on to both sides here, which will be opened up toward the outside, so like that. And grabbing ourselves a stone cutter, we're going to place down a stone cutter like so on top of these glass panes, like that, and a dark oak wood fence gate coming off that stone cutter like this out to the side and opened up toward the stone cutter like so. We're going to go then place down a row of 3 of stone full blocks, so 1, 2, 3, and then an inside wall on both ends like so. We're going to go then place down an inside wall going back on both sides like so. And after we have that all complete there, we're going to go and then place down an inside wall like this on both sides on the inside there. We're going to go and then take our stone brick slabs. We're going to place down a stone brick slab that kind of comes up from the anvil at an angle like this, and then we're going to place down a stone brick top slab right here. On these walls, we're going to place down stone cutters again to both sides, or actually, my bad, instead of the stone cutters, we're going to go ahead and actually place down a light gray stained glass pane coming off this wall, so that should have been done in the previous layer. And then on top of that glass pane, we're going to place down our stone cutters. So like that, and again, we're going to place down a dark oak wood fence gate coming off the stone cutter like this to the side and open up toward it like so. On the bottom of this stone brick slab here, we're going to go ahead and also place down a lever, which will be flicked toward the back like so. And after we have that done, going ahead and continuing on, we want to go ahead and go back to this section. We're going to place down a stone brick wall on top of this anvil, as well as a stone brick wall on top of those 2 andesite blocks. And we're going to go ahead and place down a oak wood trapdoor coming off those stone brick walls like that to both sides. Grabbing stone slabs, we're going to place down a stone slab here in the center. And then after that, a stone stair facing with its back facing toward the rear of the ship, and a stone slab to both sides of the stair. We're going to go then place down a row of 3 of stone slabs across. Coming off the row of 3 of stone slabs, we're going to place down a skeleton skull on both ends. And we then want to place down a stone brick slab, coming off the skeleton skulls like that, going back, as well as a stone slab to both sides toward the inside there, and then a piston on that center stone block. We're also going to go ahead and place down a wither skeleton skull on top of this wall right there like so. And after we have that all done, that right there is going to basically conclude the back, and with that, that's going to finish off everything we have there for layer number 6. Taking a look at it from above here, we should have that layer complete. And with that, we'll be going ahead and moving into our next layer, layer number 7. Moving into our next layer, we have layer number 7. One thing I want to go ahead and also add on to the front here is going to be an end rod that will be on top of this acacia wood plank right here, and we're going to go ahead and place down one more that goes up like so. At this point here, we want to place down a polished andesite block here in the center. And then to both sides of that, we're going to go ahead and place down a piston. If you're on a different version, you can either use polished andesite stairs coming off the sides here like that, or you can go ahead and use stone brick stairs. But for us being on Java, we'll go ahead and use pistons here instead. Now, on the sides of the pistons, we're going to place down some skeleton skulls. And then behind these, we're going to place down a stone full block there in the center, followed by a stone stair coming off both sides of that stone block like that. We're also going to place down a skeleton skull at a slight angle on top of this glass pane or fence post, whichever you have placed, and that'll just be like that on both sides, like so. At this point, we're going to go ahead and then place down our item frame on these 2 pistons, and we're going to go ahead and place down black beds in the item frames rotated so the pillows are facing toward the center. And if you're on Java, we can also place down an item frame there on that center polished andesite block, and in that, we're going to go ahead and place down a black concrete block, like so, and that will basically be the bridge there of the ship. At this point in time, we will also, just so we don't have to worry about our pistons later, we'll place down a wither skeleton skull on top of the pistons, and we'll just take our debug stick and right click them like so to go ahead and create that front section there for the bridge. With that done, going ahead and continue to work our way back, we're going to place down a row of 3 of stone full blocks across this section here. We're going to go ahead and place down a stone full block in the center, followed by a second one back, a stone brick stair like to both sides like so, and another stair coming back from it like that to create a corner stair. Then in this space here, we're going to place down a row 3 of stone full blocks across. And then taking dark oak wood signs, we're going to go ahead and wrap dark oak wood signs around these iron trapdoors. Just like that. And same thing will be done over here as well. So just dark oak wood signs around the iron trapdoors. So just like that on the ship. And after we have that done, we want to go and then take iron trapdoors, and we're just going to place down an iron trapdoor coming off those 2 stone blocks on the sides there. Going ahead and go into this section, we're going to go and place down a dark oak wood fence gate on top of this one here, then a fence gate to both sides of this one, and we're going to have the fence gates opened up toward that center fence gate. So just like that for our mast there. We then want to place down a stone block on top of these 2 here to both sides. We're going to place down a stone brick slab that goes up and a stone brick top slab that's in between them like so. We also want to place down a skeleton skull on top of these walls here to both sides, and we're going to go ahead and then go back from this, or these stone blocks here with iron trapdoors on both ends like that. Go ahead and move back to this rear section here. For this, we're just going to place down a dark oak fence gate on top of this stair here, open up toward the back, and then our fence gate on top of it, again, opened up toward the back. We'll go ahead and grab our iron bars, and we're just going to place down 2 iron bars that go up from those skeleton skulls on both sides. And after we have that done, we want to go and then place down an anvil on top of that piston. Coming off that, we're going to go and place down a end rod going back, a iron bar on top of that anvil, and we're going to then just place down a oak wood trapdoor coming off the side facing toward the rear and the side facing toward the front of that iron trapdoor, like that for the more communication to detect radar, detection equipment, all that stuff that's located up on the top there. And that'll basically conclude that back section for the ship. And at this point, we're going to go ahead and basically move into our final layers. So with that layer out of the way, we'll go ahead and move on to our last final ones. Alright guys, so moving into our final layers here, we have layers 8 through 13. For these layers to go ahead and get started with, we're going to go ahead and begin with by placing down a anvil up on top of this polished andesite block here. We're going to place down a end rod coming off it toward the front, a iron bar on top, and a dark oak wood oak wood trapdoor, on both sides of that end rod, and close like that to both sides. We're going to go then place down a end rod on top of these 2 stairs here with a iron bar that goes up from those end rods. We're going to follow this up with a light gray stained glass pane right here, then a stone block, and then on top of that stone block, we're going to go ahead and place down a andesite wall. Then on top of that andesite wall, we want to go and place down a stone brick slab, which will have a dark oak wood sign on both sides of the slab, and then a oak wood trapdoor coming off the side of the slab facing toward the front like so. We then want to go ahead and place down 2 dark oak wood fence gates here. The front fence gate is going to open up toward the back, and the other fence gate here is going to open up toward the front, so these 2 will face each other. We're going to go and do the same thing 2 more times, going up. So just like that, if I can actually place it, that would be amazing. There we go. And again, we'll have these open up toward each other. And again, we'll go ahead and go 1 more row up. And these will be opened up to each other, towards each other as well. Now, on the very top here, we're going to go and place down a anvil on top. Then a end rod coming off that. A iron bar on top of the anvil. And then a oak wood trapdoor coming off both sides of the iron bar, like that. On the back here, we're going to go ahead and place down a wither skeleton skull coming off this fence gate. Then going up from it, we're going to place down an end rod, and then a skeleton skull on top of that end rod, like so. Going back to this other mast, we're going to go ahead and place down 2 dark oak fence gates on top of this one. So 1 and 2. We're going to grab wither skeleton skulls and place down 1 and 2 wither skeleton skulls on the side there of those fence gates. After that's all complete, we're going to go and then place down a row 3 of dark oak fence gates across the top here, followed by a iron trapdoor to the ends, like so. And on top of those iron trapdoors, we're going to go ahead and place down a polished black stone slab. And then on the center dark oak fence gate, we're going to place down 1 like this. Then we're going to place down a fence gate coming off both sides, and both these fence gates here will be opened up toward the center fence gate. On the back here, we're going to place down a wither skeleton skull, an end rod, and then a skeleton skull on top of that, like so. And we then want to go ahead and place down a wither skeleton skull that will be on top of these 2 fence gates here. Try to keep them pretty relatively straight, just like that. And then on top here, we're going to go ahead and grab a polished black stone wall, place it down on top of this fence gate, and then a wither skeleton skull. At this point, we're going to very simply take our iron bars and just place down a row of 3 of iron bars across, like so. And again, if you're on Java and you have the debug stick, we can go ahead and kind of modify this to actually have these iron bars in the center here actually kind of look like they connect up to that wither skeleton skull. And it's going to be using the same technique we did down there. You're just going to change the direction that the iron bar faces. And that right there will do it for your rear mast there. Going ahead and going back to this section here, we're going to go ahead and place down our some polished black stone slabs on top of these 2 stone blocks, and then a daylight detector in between them, with that turned to night mode. We're also going to place down a skeleton skull, which will be on top of a block. So we're going to place down just a temporary block underneath it, and then a skeleton skull on top of it like so, and then an iron trapdoor on top of those 2 iron trapdoors like that. In the back section here, we're going to place down polished black stone slab to both sides, and an iron trapdoor like that to both sides, coming off those slabs. And with that all complete there, that is going to pretty much wrap up everything we have there for layers 8 through 13. And with that, that'll wrap up my tutorial here for the Udaloy anti-submarine guided missile destroyer. Hopefully you guys do enjoy this tutorial and are able to put it to good use. If you do use this build, I do ask that you guys give me proper credit for it. This being anything from a sign on the build, link to my channel or this video if this does appear in social media sites. As long as you guys give me proper credit for it, you're free for projects you guys are working on, and all that fun stuff. With that though, again, a big special thanks to Patreon supporter Derek Frost Westbrook for making this tutorial possible, and as always, feel free to check my Patreon page, link is always in my video descriptions. With that though, thank you guys again so much for watching. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This has been Gary204, and I'll see you guys next time.